Okay. All right. So we here. Welcome to the Zone 18 podcast where we talk about real life things. I'm your host, CJ, bring you the unfiltered conversation, bold predictions, bold opinions, and things that matter. And whether we're driving the culture, which I just said that completely wrong, let's just go from there. You know what I mean? All right. So on my screen right here, I got my man Ahmad. Ahmad, say hey, everybody. All right. You got my man Stan.
What's up? What's up?
You know, then we got my
What up,
girl
buddy?
E right here, Rainy Days, and we got my man Will. How y'all doing today, man?
Hey guys.
Bless. Ready to talk about these topics? Ready to get into this?
Exactly. So let me pull my screens up right here, because man, this has been a hell of a week when it comes to everything. So So all I'm gonna say to y'all was, I told y'all Diddy wasn't guilty. You know what I mean? That's all I'm gonna say to y'all.
He
Oh,
guilty.
man.
No, I don't care. No, we starting off hot already. That man's just no. He's guilty of some stuff, just not a RICO,
Yeah,
but he's still
All right.
guilty.
So we basically, if y'all see my
that boy
screen right
guilty.
here, we got the list of charges against my man. All right. So racketeering and conspiracy, not guilty. You know what I mean? He was not guilty on sex trafficking by forcing, fraud, or collusion. You know what I mean? He was not guilty of sex trafficking by force or fraud or collusion. You know what I mean? Now, to me, the two counts that
I
got
call it cap, but okay.
him: transportation to engage in prostitution for both Cassie and Jane Doe. We're going to call her. To me, in my opinion, that is the most bogus charge ever. And by y'all being majority men on this call right here, how many times have y'all flown a girl out or took a girl somewhere and did what you did with that girl? You know,
Exactly. Free Diddy.
like how many people have done that? Like
Listen,
everybody has done that.
How you send a man to jail
you
for
could.
being for hoeing? I don't understand.
I mean, the home was crazy. He just had to leave the baby powder alone. He'd be okay. But Mance didn't do that, so he said,
But
"Fuck
this is
it."
the
But just for the hoeing, you can't do it for the hoeing. But I think it's more or less of these niggas looked at him and said, "We got to get him on something, so we gonna get him on the prostitution," because they was real mad about that Rico. I know that for sure.
Yeah. When you understand how you bring a RICO against the man for real, like none of it made any sense. If he's going to call for domestic violence, and I see that, but something tried to charge him, but the man ain't do it.
I mean, to me, it was a domestic violence charge. You know what I mean? Was it clear that he beat that girl? Yes. But in my opinion, if you read the text messages and the stuff that she said out her own mouth, she was willing to do these freak offs. You know what I mean? What's the difference of the freak off and the kickback to me? That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm just gonna leave it at. Like we all been somewhere and it's been drugs and
That's a
liquor.
crazy
I've
argument.
been to several
It's a crazy.
kickbacks and some. There's a difference between a kickback and a freak off. It's a
Man,
difference.
I'm just
A
The
kickback
oil,
may
that's the only
lead to
difference.
a kickback
The
may
oil.
lead to a freak off, but I've been to several kickbacks that had not end like that. I don't know what kind of kickbacks y'all be going to, but nah.
I think might be pretty chill, but I guess not. If
Yeah,
that's how the
mine's be
freak offs be
chill.
going.
Like I'm confused. Like I don't just turn around and all of a sudden there's baby on the
Listen,
table. That's not how it works as a kickback.
the thing with Diddy is he knew too many people in Hollywood, so I think Diddy is just a front for them trying to crack down on everything because there's some really big freaks out there, especially with this Epstein stuff that came to light before recent too. They're trying to find everyone, so he's just there. He hangs out with them. Plus, he was recording all this stuff too. He had recordings of all these. So if their biggest case is, hey, we can get for Diddy, especially if he's gonna rat everybody out, which at this point he probably is already doing. He's singing like a jailbird. If that's what he came to do, then at that point, hey, how can we get the biggest stars in Hollywood? Going through Diddy.
Diddy ain't do no telling. Diddy ain't telling nobody for real. Diddy said, I'm gonna take this thing to trial. He ain't kept no deal, no nothing. So he couldn't have told.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he had a great defense.
Oh yeah,
Or
great lawyer.
but just because OJ got off doesn't mean he didn't do it. I mean, let's
Well,
just be
OJ
real
did
about
that
it.
shit is the difference. OJ did it.
But he also had a great defense. So
They just didn't know what DNA was back then.
just because you got off doesn't mean you wasn't guilty of the charges. That's all I'm saying. So
I don't know.
somebody made an argument that he basically is like Hugh Hefner. Like if they had Hugh Hefner on trial for the same things they put Diddy on trial, Hugh Hefner would have probably never be even accused of some of the things that they accused Diddy of. But he is he's guilty of some things, the things they caught him on or not, what's done in the dark always come to light at the end of the
That's
day.
true.
Why
So
this man still in jail for? Why won't they let this man out on bail? I don't understand.
I mean, because
Because
he
the
beat a
charges
woman and
that he
recorded it and
did
put it
get,
on social
Being a
media.
woman don't have nothing to do with what he charged with.
the charges he
But
did get, though,
he
hold the
got
penalty of up to 20
he
years in
got
prison.
charged.
You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
But
the
the
charges he
serious
got.
charges he beat him. So you let this man out?
No, not two of them.
No,
The
but the
two of
judge
them he
said
got
that he's
convicted on,
clearly
he can get
a
20
flight
years.
risk. Like they're not going to let him out of jail because he's going
But
to
my
leave.
thing is
They
this though:
already know
you're
that.
taking his passport, you're taking his kid's passport, you're taking his mother's passport. Where is he really going to go? You know, that's how I look at it.
Will that
He's
stop
a
you from leaving on your
billionaire.
private
Come
jet?
on
But
now. He's a
okay,
billionaire.
but this,
Y'all making it
What
seem
the
like he's a
fuck
No.
wrong with
billionaire.
him is
Come
that?
on.
Like,
I mean,
Will that stop you getting smuggled across the border if you had the money to do it? Like, be
Yeah,
real.
don't make excuses for the
I mean, let's look at
billionaire.
El
He can
Chapo.
buy
He
whatever
was
he
in jail
wants.
and he still got smuggled around the world. So if El
Like,
Chapo could do it, Diddy can do it for sure. It's gonna be easy on him. He'll be in
then he
Cancun somewhere.
already
Just
did
hey,
it. He already did it. He
for
did it in the
months.
beginning.
He was
So they know
gone.
for sure he going
Nah.
to be gone again as soon as they let him
see,
out.
my problem,
That
honestly,
nigga getting the
I
fuck
just
out
don't
of
like how they
here.
throw my man in jail. Like, could they let my man Beijing in his hand? You feel me? They got my man on his knees here.
All I know is he looks 6 years older.
Like, my
That's
man look like
crazy.
Bill Cosby in this one right here.
In these pictures.
Like, come on, man. He really.
They
Now
need
they got
whoever drew him. They need to fire the artist. Like don't keep up a man that kind of life.
why they got him looking like Bill Cosby right here. I'm
Exactly right.
confused.
That's what I'm saying. I don't even know who that is, man. That's not
They
even Diddy, man.
that is not Diddy.
That's
That
not
is
Diddy.
No,
Jerome.
that was
I don't know who that man
there was
is.
no access to
That's
freak
Oscar
offs
Proud.
and all that stuff
Oscar
straight to his
Proud.
soul, you know.
Like, they just thought my man so wrong. And, you
There's
know,
no way.
not to sound
You
crazy,
couldn't feed off nobody's misery for a while, you know what I mean?
I'm a Diddy fan. I don't care what nobody say. I will always be a Diddy fan, you know. And to me, and I'm gonna state this again, and
That's crazy.
people could be my friend or not be my friend, but what not wrong with the freak offs, in my opinion. Other than him getting nut wiped on him from another nigga. That was too far for me, you know what I mean?
Next time I come to your house, I'm wiping everything down before I
Oh,
sit
that's
down,
me.
just so,
Hey man,
just
I
to
wish I let
be
me say
safe and
that I'm
sorry.
already in the doghouse, so let me not say that. But
Leave that
at
one
the end of the
alone.
day, you know what I mean?
But I said, don't say that.
Leave that one alone. Leave that one alone.
Need them.
Just saying, my man Diddy, he
Well,
Oh
he'll be
man.
back to his freak offs in 20 years. Don't worry.
Hey, I
His
know
Yeah.
one
tendency's
thing though. We're
good.
gonna have a hit out of this.
Did he be home in October?
but this is my problem though.
All I know is we're gonna have a hit. It's gonna be a
Legally
hit
or
#1 track.
illegally?
But this is
He'll be home in October. Time
We're
but
gonna
served.
this
get
is my
there.
problem though.
No.
What's the difference in Diddy, right? And then this dude right here. You feel me? Like, okay.
Oh.
No, keep him locked up. No, hell no, hell no.
Hold up. If you look
Look,
at his
man,
list of
I look
charges,
at it
right?
like a monster's a
His
monster.
list of charges was the
You know what
same
I
as
mean?
Diddy, right? Only difference was when you look.
But yeah,
Not
but you
child
brought out
pornography.
minors and
Do you
child
see the
pornography.
minors,
None
the
of that shit.
Hold
China?
up. First of all, there was a child there. What do you mean it's the same as Diddy? There was a child.
That's
He
what I mean.
clearly
Diddy
peed
ain't do
on
none of
her.
that shit. That man's a pedophile.
He recorded himself peeing
But
on
hold
her,
up,
giving
we're
out his
not
whole
talking about
government saying, yes, my name is Robert
we're
Kelly.
not
I
talking
did
about the
this.
old R. Kelly tape.
He might
Like,
as well
remember,
did
they
that.
says R. Kelly sex trafficked them girls. He was doing all of this crazy shit. To me, it's the same thing except the minor charge.
But they
I
were
believe it.
children. They were
They
children.
were
Okay.
children.
They were
Okay.
children. You
This man was
understand that,
putting up
right?
in
The
middle
difference?
schools getting women.
He was like, "Hey, let's get next to ignition, hot and fresh out the military." Like, come on, like,
Even though
like
their parents need to be in jail too because they let them do the shit.
they were
No,
children.
Yeah,
that's
He
but
was
facts.
I think
he
it's a
was
difference
recruiting
in
at Chuck E.
perspective.
Cheese. No,
I think a lot of people find
no.
it hard to look at other people's perspective. Like you gotta think about it like you can kind of downplay what happened to them people, but I guarantee you that if somebody locked your ass in the room and was like, look, I don't give a shit what you call yourself, straight, whatever, you fitting to suck all this dick, you fitting to do all this. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You can't tell me you're gonna be like, oh, okay, I'm gonna do it, and this is business or whatever. You're gonna want some kind of retribution for that, right? You know what I'm saying?
Someone should
Like,
tell
would
that
you
to
want
Meek
your
Mill.
daughter
Oh, they
But
dating them? Somebody like that, yo? That's all the way I look
I
at it.
can't compare Diddy to R. Kelly. You can't compare it.
I feel like you can love
They
his
are
music and his
both bad in their
persona,
own
but
issues, but they're
if
not the
somebody you
same
love
bad.
had an experience like that, you put Diddy in the dirt. You know you would. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
100%.
Okay.
yeah, definitely. They're both bad, but they're not on the same level of bad. Like R. Kelly is a pedophile. Like, let's be clear. Like, that's what he is. He's known for having sexual relations with multiple
Yeah.
minors. And Diddy, he did this with adults. So we know they're mostly people over the age of 18. There's
Consenting
speculation of some
adult.
people. Yeah, but most of them are consenting adults. They went to this party. They knew they was going to get into.
Ah,
He just was the supplier, and he got caught. I mean, should have made sure whoever he invited last should have went,
Just
because that's
man,
whoever snitched is the reason he got caught.
look, I look
Consenting
at it
is
as
a bit of a
everybody
stretch
made their
there, but I
decision.
agree with the rest of it.
I just
You know.
I just grew up and both of them was my heroes, if you look at it, and I just have a hard time
Hero.
dealing with it, like Diddy.
I ain't never fucked with no R. Kelly. You know I'm a Diddy
Not
fan.
heroes. I don't know if R.
All right,
Kelly was
everybody,
my
just like I
hero,
was back in
but
I mean,
graduation.
I mess
Okay.
with his music. I
Okay,
don't know if a
okay,
hero is the
okay.
thing
When I
I
Yeah.
say
would look up
hero,
to him
y'all
for,
gotta remember,
but
I'm a fat boy, right? Who wasn't getting no girls at a point in time, and R. Kelly gave me the confidence to go out here and do the things that I do now.
he believed you can fly,
Hey,
huh?
that was my
Okay.
5th grade graduation.
They sung it
He
at
is.
every graduation.
Man, you ever
Yeah.
hear that expression, you gotta kill your hero, like in your head? Because if you look deep enough
Is that
into
from Dark
anybody,
Knight?
might find something you ain't gonna like too much. You know what
Who said
I'm saying?
that?
Is
Did
that
the
the
Joker
Joker?
say that? Did the Joker?
No,
You gotta
not
kill
a,
your heroes?
yeah.
Who quoted that? Is it
I
Gandhi?
never
I
heard
think
that
it
one.
is.
It's a saying because it's like if you dig deep enough into anybody, you gonna find something that your ass don't like. You know what I mean? If
That
you
is
being
true.
serious,
That's
That
true.
is true because everybody has their little deep dark
you know what I mean?
secrets. Yeah.
So
That's
if you put
fair.
somebody
That's
on a
fair.
Mhm.
pedestal and then you dig in and you find out some shit you ain't gonna like, which I'm sure you probably will. You know what I'm saying? Then it's gonna crush you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hmm?
Yeah. That's how I feel about myself some days.
So
I mean, but
I know
people
it
always
sounds
knew what R.
crazy,
Kelly
but it's
was.
like
They
you
just
gotta
chose to
protect
ignore it.
yourself from like the perception of somebody because a lot of people they aren't real. They just a perception. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah. I get what you're saying. Everybody, because at a point, everybody
Okay.
fronts at
I
some
get it.
point in time. You know what I mean? Whether it be an adult, whether it be a child.
Yeah, they say that there's who you really are, who you think you really are, and who people think you are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And celebrities know that.
That is true. You know what I mean? All right.
I heard that one before. Yes.
That went off the Dark Knight.
I don't think child pedophiles are
That
legal.
first one was a little brutal. You ever heard the saying, if you're
First
trying
I
to
one
kill
kinda
your
mean,
was me.
heroes?
it's like a brutalist way of kind of protecting yourself from disappointment. You know what I mean?
Right.
I get you.
All right.
I mean, there's probably another way to go about that one, but I get it. I get it.
So,
This man
I
said, "Go ahead, and
mean,
just kill him."
look, I'm a vet, so I got that baked in dark humor. You know what I'm saying?
right. Well,
That's fair. That's fair.
Understandable.
Ahmad over there, he's a national guard. You know what I mean? So, y'all some crazy people. But
Thank you for throwing that out there. I
I'm
mean,
just saying.
humor is always going to be there, but it's all right.
So,
I mean, when
I'm just trying to
you
get
said
y'all
R.
some
Kelly and
context. You know what I mean? Might come off a little rough around
no,
the
that's fair.
all right. So, last thing I'm gonna say about
No,
I'm used to where you're gonna go.
It was nothing wrong about the context. It was just the saying. You was literally like, what they say
The
is
phrasing
like.
was like,
I know I'm about to
and I
watch The
was
Dark
like,
Knight after we get off
Was
of this.
like,
I've
who
never heard that phrase.
said?
So,
not
Who
literally,
I'm about to
said
watch The
that?
Dark
you
Knight
know
after
what I
this shit.
mean?
all right.
We all was like,
All
what?
right. Last
You
things
know.
about Diddy, right? And then we're gonna go to the next topic. I feel
Okay.
as though he gonna get time
Alright.
served.
All right.
October, he gonna be out. You know what I mean? That's my opinion about it. Ahmad, what's your opinion about it? What do you think Diddy getting out?
They gonna keep what I think Diddy's getting out. I don't think Diddy's gonna get out for another 5 to 10 years. I think they're gonna try to hold him as long as possible to try to get more information out of him and out of his house. So it'll probably be like another 10 years for Diddy,
Okay.
I
unfortunately.
think
But
so.
All
Oh,
right.
man.
So, Stan, you think the same thing, or what
I
you
agree.
thinking?
Diddy gonna be home. Diddy the best there is, the best there was, the best that ever will be. We gonna be Diddy bopping in October.
this nigga Bret Hart.
It's gonna be
Damn
a
right.
bad boy reunion come
You
January.
said January. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, man.
Bad boys reunion come
All right.
January.
All right. So now we're gonna go on to the next topic.
Look,
It's gonna be a bad
We
boy
basically
summer.
gonna talk about the recap of SmackDown this week. So I think it pains me to
Oh,
say
shit.
this next thing. I'm
Thank
starting to become not a fan of wrestling anymore. Like, it's so starting to become not
Whoa.
boring,
Okay.
but it's very predictable. It's very kiddish. And it hurts me because I'm a person who loved wrestling from day one. Like I remember
blame
the age
TKO.
of 2 years old. Me and my father was on Emerson Avenue at somebody's house, and they got drunk, and we got put out in the street or SummerSlam when it was Ultimate Warrior. You know what I mean? And I was mad that I couldn't see that.
Shout out to Carlisle.
You know what I
Harvey
mean?
Senior.
So I've literally been a wrestling fan.
Shout out to Carlisle Harvey
I've
Senior.
literally been a wrestling
Oh,
fan my
man.
whole life. And like, so this week with SmackDown, it starts off, you know, Cody is the king of the ring. Of course, we knew that was going to happen. It's like, what? Why? Like, do they keep pushing these narratives, right?
You already know what's going to happen. SummerSlam, he gonna beat John Cena. Then Seth Rollins gonna come cash it in. You already know what's going to
Yeah,
happen.
and that sucks to me. Like, that's how I feel about it. And then I feel John Cena is going to turn around and become the good guy to end it out. You know what I mean? Whereas, and I love to heel John Cena. Like, to be honest with you, I fucks with
Me
him.
too.
You know what I mean? I just felt like,
Heel Cena has been one of the greatest runs right now. I'll give it that 100%. Heel Cena, but the problem is with Cody is he's their face now. That's how they look at him. Is Cody is the face. He's the guy we want on the billboards from years to come. He's our new Roman Reigns with his own twist. The problem is we're all getting tired of Cody. We've seen the story. The story is finished. You got nothing new now. Now, unless you go to a heel run and become Homelander Cody, which if we do that, I'm here for it. But if we don't do that and we just still get babyface Cody, that's, oh, Randy, thank you for being my mentor. Oh, guys, thank you for doing this. Oh, I'm not going to cheat to try to win the title, to keep my title, because that's not the honorable thing to do. That's not going to do anything for anybody. It's just going to make people go, you know what? I'm over this. I can't even deal with it at this point no more because Cody is boring. He's just boring.
The money was in him chasing his story. WrestleMania 40 was like the apex for it, and it's been downhill ever since.
and I'm honestly glad that we all had the chance to actually experience probably one of the better WrestleManias because last
Best
year,
one
I
ever.
don't know what the fuck. Well, this year,
It must be nice for all of y'all. I mean, I'm just getting y'all that out there. It must be nice to actually go and see WrestleMania live, but we ain't gonna talk about that. Some of us got to
It was
experience it,
cold,
not all of
We
but it
us.
was
couldn't
right,
deal
nice.
with it.
It was cold,
Not
It
all
was
of
nice.
us.
but it was
right,
beautiful.
like,
That's good though.
It was.
she
At least
got
it
to
was
see
nice.
night one, The Rock in
It
person,
was.
you know what I mean? Then,
I got to see the
And
greatest wrestler of all
where
time.
the fuck is the final boss at? Where is he
The
going?
greatest wrestler of all
they
time.
they don't
Yes,
need
he
him.
is. Yes, he is.
He's the GOAT.
First of all, no, I always got to acknowledge my tribal chief first and foremost. But anyways, we're gonna get that one out the way. So,
The Tribal Chief sells tickets.
tribal chief sells tickets, but
Where
that's a
is the
great
tribal
question.
chief?
He's off shooting a movie right now. We know that for a fact. But
All
where
right.
is the final boss? Where is the final boss?
Also,
We
I
haven't
think
seen
off
this
he's
shooting
man.
the
beefing with Triple
movie.
H. I think he's beefing with Triple H. I
Which
think over
one?
storylines and stuff.
Moana. He got to do Moana live. That movie come out next year.
Yeah, that
The
man
live
making
action
money
of
out
Moana.
here.
Yeah, he making money.
He
That's why he
he
wasn't
making
really at
bread.
WrestleMania because Moana 2 fell out at the same time of WrestleMania. I mean, I understand. I was upset because I think The Rock should have been there after WrestleMania,
Same here.
after everything that happened. But
The
I
biggest
don't
thing
know,
is
guys.
like you pushed
I don't
him up
think Cody's
for
winning
this
at
Cody
SummerSlam.
rematch.
I don't think he's winning.
I think he's
Yeah.
gonna win. Seth Rollins gonna cash in.
And I used to think he was going to. I said earlier on my own podcast that I thought the arc was leading to Cody getting his title back at SummerSlam. But after the most recent series of events, especially with John Cena and his tour is not ending, I don't think it makes good TV for WWE to have Cody win at SummerSlam. I think that Cody needs to win when he becomes bad.
So,
I don't think he needs to win at this point. And I don't see Seth Rollins. I see Seth Rollins cashing in. He playing with us, but I'd rather see him cashing on Gunther before he cash on Cody. It's just not making sense right now for Cody to win this title.
well,
It's
we all
not.
know that John Cena's last date is in December, like December the 20th in Boston.
Yeah, it's in
So
December. Like he
I
still
can't see
got.
them having him
He still
lose
has
it
some
though
time.
in his
Mhm.
hometown on his last night. That's the thing. Like,
No, I don't see him losing it at the end. I see him losing it closer to the end than SummerSlam because there's still a lot of moving pieces. We still got CM Punk. We still got Seth Rollins. We still got where Roman Reigns is, especially if he shows up at SummerSlam, which some people are speculating. It's just John Cena is not on the track of losing. The only person he's lost to quote unquote right now has been R-Truth.
Yeah.
That's really like technically the only person he's
First of
lost
all,
to.
shout out to Ron Killings, always
Ron
and that
Killings.
forever. But Ron has been making a lot of killings around here. But the thing with when it comes to it, like you said, I don't think John Cena should lose the title to Cody Rhodes at that point at SummerSlam. Because if he does that, it's going to be pretty much like an all for naught. Like, oh, we had a great moment, we had a pretty good run, and then it died down with it. Now, Seth Rollins and his little gang crew, to me, that's a Bloodline
Okay.
3.0, well, 4.0 at this point. But the problem with Seth is, I think if he wants to make this work and work really well, let Paul do some stuff. Let Paul do more stuff behind the scenes. Stop trying to make it seem like, hey, I have to be in the light. And then just let it go with CM Punk. Like, I get it. You don't like CM Punk. You
And
hate the guy. You
please
hate his
let
guts.
it go.
You hate him for 10
Like
years. You hate him for 20 years. You hate him since you were in diapers. But let it go at this point because you
they've
keep
been
doing
beating this
that.
drum to the death.
Yeah.
It's not going to
Like
go
it's
anywhere with you.
tiring.
Because now we got Solo's new bloodline, and then we got this bloodline, and it's just too.
Yeah,
It's
like
too
I have
much.
them on
It's
the
too much with
screen
the
now,
story.
and I
But go ahead,
forgot
Carl.
what their name is now. I forgot because they're not called the Bloodline. They're called BM something.
Timu
Yeah,
Bloodline.
something like.
They need to hurry up
I
and
think they're
bring.
BMF or something. Like I don't know. He was like,
The Timu edition.
right, right,
Yep.
Bring
and then
Roman
it's like
Reigns back.
you
In the
got
church
Please.
shop line.
Solo, you have JC Mateo, you have the Botch Master, and then you have this tall ass nigga. You know what I mean? It's just like.
First of all, can we just talk about the fact that Tall Lesnar is also going to be a botch master when he couldn't execute a simple, "Hey, come pull me out the ring real quick. I have to
You
sign you." Like we
okay?
didn't see
So
that,
all
but
right. So I'm
that's
not
fine.
crazy then
Now I
And then
will
because I
say
thought
Jacob Fatu is the
okay.
truth.
I'm not crazy because I
Yes.
saw him when Solo was on the ground. If you notice, he was patting his hand, doing like this as the pen, and it's like how
Mhm.
yeah, he missed
how
his cue. Solo had to get him on his cue, like, "Hey,
how do
pop
y'all
up."
not know y'all cues? Like I don't understand it. It's
They knew, and they went in NXT or nothing like that. So they try to get adjusted on WWE
and it's
stuff.
just like I'm this picture
It,
just disgusts me every time I look at it, like on the screen. Like it just what is this? Like
They should
And the
have
weird
took the
thing
belt off
about
Jacob
Solo
Fatu.
is that he's tried to do this bloodline version before and it's failing. You know, we have Jimmy and Jacob Fatu building their own type of faction, which is basically to go against them. So I don't see Solo bloodline going the way he wants it to go. I think it's going to go really downhill really fast, and that title is not going to be his for long. It's not. Because he didn't
I
win
think
it,
it's funny the
you know?
fact that they had to take 4 people to take down Jacob Fatu. So I think that says a lot about
Exactly.
Jacob Fatu in that aspect. But the thing with Solo is his run is going to be really short as a U.S.
Yeah.
champion. I think for Solo, he needs to be his own individual singles type competitor. He has the charisma to do it. He's very funny when it just
he's
comes to
weak.
him being himself outside the ring without he's not doing that. But the problem relies with him being basically on his family name. The thing with WWE now is we have so many Samoans in this company and everything like that that none of them are original. I've seen the same Samoan drop used 6 times, 6 different ways to Sunday, and it all looks the same to me. Please, for the love of God, if we're gonna bring any more Samoans in, one, let them know how to do a decent promo, let them know how to do their cues, and at this point, just let it ride out for a second. Like we got too
Not
many of them now. We don't
not
know
even
what to
that.
do with them, especially
I
when it
think
comes to
my
the
biggest
naming.
problem is we're pushing these Samoans, but we do the black people dirty. Like, I don't care what nobody says. The Street Profits are a good tag team, a great tag team, but they get shitted on every single week. You know, they cannot make it to they can't make it to a PLE, but they always got to fight on SmackDown the day before. Like
They TV main eventers. They main event on TV,
Yeah,
but that's it.
100%. That's what they got the New Day for.
yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Look at them. Look at the New Day. Look at how they do them. Like that. WWE's racist in my opinion. That's all I'm gonna say. You know what I mean? Like
I don't know about
Ask a
racist,
question.
man.
Ask a question.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask y'all a question real quick. Like, being longtime fans, like, how do y'all feel about this era in
It's still
wrestling?
young, and I think the problem is that because we grew up on generations and building of Vince McMahon and what he builded, that is no longer the WWE that we have now. Now you have social media, you have a lot of different networks that buy into this company. So yes, at some point it has to be family orientated. It has to be a level of understanding where they don't get canceled, they don't get obliterated, and they don't get annihilated. Because in the past, if you really think about it, some of the stuff we saw on TV probably should have never been on
Hell no.
TV. Like, you
That was the
know,
best part
so
about it, though. Hold up, that was the
Yeah,
best
but
part. What are you talking
but it
but
was
about?
it's
good.
different because you had cable, but now with social
Yeah.
media, with the way we
You,
see the world now, it doesn't match to what the new generation wants from the WWE. What we
you,
want is not what they want, which is why people like Hulk
Yeah,
Hogan and
that's
stuff like
true.
that can't survive now. Which is why we need people like Jey Uso, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, because they bring the sparkles to WWE. They bring the buy-in, they bring the pizzazz, but they're still only halfway in their career. Some of these veterans have been in for 10, 20, 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
So they're still learning what makes them legends. And I think that we should give them that chance because all it is a storyline with a little bit of, it basically is scripted. It's a scripted sports entertainment that we
Yep.
watch every week in order to buy into these storylines. We're not buying into the moves. Yes, that brings it, but we're really buying
This
into
is
their
true.
storylines, which is why Roman Reigns and CM Punk and Seth Rollins can fight every week, and the whole world, social media goes crazy because we want this story. We want to see how it's going to end. So as long as they come 360 to these stories, then they have hope. But these flatline storylines like Jade and Naomi and CM Punk and Seth Rollins beating the record, they got to let that go. They got to move on past that.
I'm glad you brought up storylines in that aspect of, I believe, now this is, for this era, it's not a bad era. It's pretty good. You got your superstars that are phenomenal talents, even some better, we can say better than some of the talents that we had in the past and everything like that. But to me, the problem is their storylines aren't as good as they should be. And I believe too, before WWE and TKO became into this partnership, I think they were going up to the right track with the storylines and making them better. But as soon as they did this partnership with TKO, I think that's when the storylines got flatter. Maybe just from like a person who's watched it for a long period of time standpoint, the storylines just stopped being good and it started
Mm-hmm.
pandering to
The
more of the,
kids.
hey, we need to sell more of this, we need to sell more of
Yeah,
that,
Mm-hmm.
we need to
when it
sell more of
Mm-hmm.
sells,
this. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and before,
because it
yes, they
wasn't
did the
keeping them
same
afloat.
thing. It was like they had the WWE shop. I don't know how many times I'll watch wrestling. I'll just hear Shawn Michaels come up. Hey, by the way, just want you to let you know the WWEshop.com has this book right
True.
here that you want for $60 a month. And it's like, and we had
True,
that, but
but
it mixed in so well
but
that
to
we didn't
me,
care.
now everything is a brand. Like look at the ring. Look at the
That's true.
table. Why the hell did the table have Slim Jim logo on it? Like
Because Slim Jim paid for that table.
because
How else you
TKO
plan?
all
sponsorship.
How
about
do you
making
expect
money.
them to make
TKO,
money?
only thing TKO care about is like their profits. That's it.
That's
Yeah,
it. And then the crazy part is we've had more tables come out too because since they got that Slim Jim
mm-hmm.
promotion, we've had more ladders since they had that Slim
Yeah,
Jim
Fireball
support
ladder,
shit,
that shit crazy.
Fireball, like all this other stuff, and it's like, well, what were these matches at before we had all these sponsorships and all this stuff? They just threw the money in there and said, "Hey, the money's here now. Throw it on the screen so we can get that money for the
I
sponsorships."
don't know. So
Yeah, because Vince was taking
now
that money, y'all. He
when
wasn't
y'all talk
talking about
about
that.
money, right? So now let's go to like this main event just coming up, Saturday night main event this week, and then you have Evolution this week,
This is for
Which is
money.
right?
bullshit.
This is a whole
To
cash
me,
grab,
I
100% cash grab.
don't
The
ever want to
problem
see
is,
goddamn Goldberg fight again ever in my life. You know what I mean? Like,
No, that match gonna last 2 minutes. That's it. I'm talking 2 minutes.
if you're Bret Hart, you really don't want to see him fight ever again. But at this point right now, yeah, no, Goldberg is too old to be trying to fight right now and do all this stuff. He might go the wrong way to either break his knee or break Gunther's jaw,
Part
and
that pissed
Gunther's
me
too
off
much
of
of
this
a
match right here, I
problem.
swear to you, is the fact
Yeah.
he took the belt off Jey Uso to put it on Gunther so they can have this match, which is crazy to me.
Mm-hmm. Which just makes you should think about why they did that. Because why would they and nothing against Gunther, whatever you want to call him, Jey Uso, he surprised a lot of people with his title run because he was actually a very popular champion. Like main
Yes.
event, he went off and it showed potential of how he could be an individual Samoan wrestler in a family because he has the potential to be that
to be the man.
superstar if they allow him to have that storyline.
They
Yeah,
should
to
have
be the
never took the belt
man.
off of
They
him.
should have never took the belt
No,
off him. He didn't deserve that. Like,
and
so
the
now I'm
problem
feeling
with them,
like they're gonna have Gunther lose his title to Seth Rollins. because it just doesn't
And
make
the,
any sense to give it back to Gunther. Like, he
First
born.
of all,
No offense.
if you give that title back to
Right.
Seth Rollins for Gunther to lose to Seth Rollins, that to me also doesn't make sense. But no, putting the belt back on Gunther after, or Gunther, however you want to say his German name, after giving it off to him at WrestleMania, which by the way was the biggest stage for him to lose on, to be tapped out, which he's never really been tapped out ever before in his career. So you had these two major highlights back to back on Gunther. On Gunther, him being away for a while, trying to bring himself back, for him to come back, not only being there for a couple weeks, but get a title shot right after that when you got guys on this roster still that are working their way up to get a title shot, and he gets one right there to get the title back just to fight Goldberg so we can watch a 2-minute squash match of Gunther just choking Goldberg out because he's too
Y'all
old to
better leave
wrestle.
Goldberg
So my
Stop
thing
it.
is this.
He about to
I have
Like
no
surprise
Goldberg
problem.
y'all.
is not in his
Y'all about to
prime.
be
He's
real
not in his
I have
prime
upset.
hold on,
Ooh,
anymore.
hold on.
okay.
Y'all better leave
So I have
Goldberg
no problem
alone.
with
Nothing against Goldberg. I love him. He's not his
so
prime
I have
anymore
no
though.
problem with Gunther
Y'all
being the
better
champ.
leave Goldberg alone. He about to surprise the
Because
mess
think
out of
about
y'all.
this. When Gunther was the champ and he was the IC champ, that's when there was the best Gunther there was. You know what I mean? But what they did is when they put the belt on him as the world champion, they kept people away from him, if it makes sense. Like, he didn't really fight anybody that was worthy.
And his run
Yeah,
was
it
boring.
was boring.
He had no good
Yeah.
challengers.
I got a question for y'all
Yeah.
because this is what I don't understand. Like we been watching wrestling for years, and like
Mhm.
anytime the champion loses, you get a rematch. Now the champion never gets the rematch anymore. Jey Uso lost the title. Now he goes into another storyline. Like, where's this rematch? Where's the rematch
No,
at
because the
too?
rematch comes back when they feel like a
That's
I think
story.
it's because he's hurt. Like, he really
Like
is
Cody
hurt.
Rhodes, even
And
though
I
I
think
mean
he
he
wasn't
lost
ready
to
for a
John Cena,
rematch.
but then
Because
you
that
don't
man hurt.
rematch. He has to go to King of the Ring to get another. I mean it makes no
Well,
sense to me.
that's just like
Putting him in the King of Rings still to me didn't
no.
make any sense. Because it's like if
Yeah.
he is hurt, like they're saying, like, hey,
He's
he's
hurt.
hurt, let
Yeah. He
him
need to sit
rest
down
up.
first.
Don't throw him in a King of the Ring match and go, oh yeah, by the way, we're gonna make you get all the way up to where you fight Cody Rhodes, and then we'll let you lose it to Cody, so that way Cody's going again got something to prove there. It's like just let him be there, let him rest up, so that way he can come back and
But
be a
that's the
champion like he's
problem
supposed to be.
with
Because
them and the
yeet.
belts all together.
Heat.
Because even
4 letters, 1 word.
even with the women's tag team belts, what the fuck are they doing with them? Like, I don't understand why people who are champions are fighting with other people for tag team belts and individual belts when they are champion already.
I think you make one tag team belt and you just put it for both shows and you make them compete either every
Well,
week
that's what the
or every
women's
other
tag
week
team
on
belt
one of the
is,
shows
though.
for the tag
The
team
women's
belts.
tag team belt is that.
But at this
Yeah.
point for the two brands, what are they doing with their tag team belts? Like you said, we seen them. Only time we see them is the day before PLE, and their main eventers for a tag team title. And then you get the same tag teams. Like if I see DIY
One
on
more
my
time,
screen one more time,
exactly.
if I have to see them, if I got to see them tomorrow on my screen at 8 o'clock, shout out to WWE by the way for that. I will literally scream because I'm
Look,
tired of seeing them
I
on
can
my
tell you
screen
right now.
every week. Just
I
tag
can tell
team
you
belts.
right
Like
now,
let's get
Friday
some
or
new ones,
SmackDown, it's going to be DIY versus the Motor City Machine
which they are
Guns.
on
They
Spotted.
fight them every single week. There's only 4 tag teams on there, and they
For the
rotate them every single week. You know what I mean? Like,
But because not enough tag teams, they split. They gotta. That's all they can fight for real, unless they go into
Then let a
singles
tag team
or
have a
triple threats.
then let a tag team
Go,
have a USO run at this point where they hold the belt for a little bit longer so we actually get something there instead of just every week it feels like, oh yeah, in 3 weeks we're about to lose another tag team
But you
champion
look at
I
the
to
women's
somebody
honestly,
else.
titles. They don't do nothing with the women's tag team. Like they
yeah,
just
that's
need
what
to
I'm
get
saying.
rid
They
of
need
it
to
because
get rid
it's
of them.
not working.
yeah, it keeps going back. I think that the tag team titles are going to stay with Judgment Day for a while, though. I think the new tag team titles, the past. I think the whole Judgment Day faction of all them being champions, quote unquote. I think that's something they've been setting up, and I think they're going to probably hold them championships for a little bit. I don't see them losing it
I can see
anytime
that,
They're
soon.
gonna get
and I
they're gonna
Yeah.
get rid of Liv Morgan though. I think they're
But
getting rid of Liv.
they already gave Raquel basically her championship because she's injured. So,
Oh,
whenever she
Yeah,
comes
they
back,
gave it to
that'll
Roxanne.
be,
Roxanne.
I mean, Roxanne,
Roxanne's gonna
sorry.
take her
Yeah, Roxanne.
she took her
Yeah.
championship and she about to take her man next because she was giving him tendies and
I mean,
everything
but
like
going
that
for
because
everybody. So,
oh, I fuck for Dirty
I
Dom.
mean,
I'm
for
just, I fuck for
everybody.
Dirty
It's
Dom.
okay. We know
I just
we
don't get
know who his
it. I
father
don't get
really
it.
is. It's because his dad is Eddie Guerrero. I mean, like, come on. Y'all remember back in the day when Eddie told
Yeah,
Ray that was
that's his
his son?
daddy. I'm your
That's
poppy.
his, I'm
Shout
your
out
I'm your
poppy.
poppy.
Also, shout out to that ladder match, though. I don't know why that was even a thing, but I wish
Doing
they
the
would bring
Dom on
something
the
like that back. Because
poles.
shout out to Eddie almost went. Yes,
Yeah.
Dom on the pole. If you get this, you keep Dom as a kid, and I think Ray is really regretting winning that match right now.
But
But
yeah, like I'm just the women's division, they gotta definitely scrap that because this week they had Alexa Bliss and I say Ric Flair, Charlotte Flair tag teaming.
Charlotte
Like
Flair.
they just gotta let it go, man. And then
Charlotte Flair need to
Hey, not.
retire.
and then you
She
got the
done.
Wyatt Six.
Yeah, she is
I
done.
don't care what nobody say.
he needs to sit down before she
The
blow that knee
Wyatt
out
Six
again.
coming back was a very important thing. Like you remember, they killed people in that first episode. You know what I mean? Like they just murdered people.
You hear that, Will? They was killing people, Will. They was
Right.
killing
And then
people.
So
to be
the best question I have is where are they? Where have they been?
well, Uncle Howdy was hurt. So that meant that nobody else could be on TV when the one guy who doesn't matter was hurt. You know, the real guy who matters is dead. And
Their package deal.
like, but yeah, so like you got this week
Their
coming up with
package
the
deal.
main event, and then you have the Evolution pay-per-view going up. And I'm not surprised that Evolution is only sold 4,000 tickets. Like, y'all did not promote that pay-per-view for anything there was.
They didn't promote it at all.
I got another
They
question.
treated like Saturday night
Yeah.
main event.
Like, go
They
ahead, Will.
really
What you
did.
gonna say?
100%. That's crazy.
Go ahead, Will.
I got another question. All right. Anybody ever seen the McMahon documentary?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
Mr.
seen
McMahon,
that.
Yeah.
whatever
Netflix.
it is. And we were just talking about the different eras and stuff that we just gone through. And I don't know, it made me think about how McMahon, like, of course, wrestling is about big personalities, big stars, right? But he didn't let that affect what direction he wanted to take the entire company to. So, like, I guess I'm trying to get to my question. My question is, now in this age where these personalities seem to be even bigger and the fans seem to be so centered around their individual favorites, do you think it's possible? Like, do you think that might affect like how wrestling is now? Like, you know what I mean? Is it possible to steer a direction in a certain company without
No.
pissing off the fans?
'Cause-
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, because
You
you're
think
gonna
they
piss
kind of more
somebody
Prime,
catering
off at that
towards the
point.
yeah.
fans now? Like, you know what I mean?
Prime example is R-Truth. They really cut our Truth contract was ending. We didn't know, but it was ending. And the fans
Yeah,
brought back R-Truth. That's a prime example
right.
because the direction that they was going in was no longer R-Truth was too old. He was whack. He was this, he wasn't what they wanted for their version of WWE, but the fans got in their ass real quick. And they tried to sell it like it was a part of the gimmick, but it wasn't. It was
No,
reality that they have to
Yeah.
realize that
we knew it
it's
wasn't part
more
of
than
that
just
gimmick.
them. Yeah, we knew it wasn't part of the gimmick, but Triple H tried to
Like,
sell it like it was that, but it wasn't.
like it was. He goes, "Oh, it's part of the gimmick." Like, no, we know you guys wanted to get rid of R-Truth because you think he's too old. He's father time at this point when it comes to wrestling,
They thought
and
they could
it's
get rid of
when
R-Truth, and they like it was gonna be no backlash whatsoever. Nobody gonna say anything.
and no
He
one was
wasn't
gonna know.
expecting all that.
You know, he
No, like we as fans were like, no, we want Truth back because Truth is great. We love that. But with it comes to this company, I just feel like too, and this is another big at TKO. With that, I think they're trying to move in that direction of where they try to make it more UFC like because we're starting to see it now with these press
Oh yeah,
conferences at the end of stuff and everything like
Yeah.
that. Like as a wrestling
definitely.
fan, we used to be like, oh, KFAB was a thing. We always believed in the KFAB.
kayfabe.
The wrestlers believed in the KFAB. Even kayfabe, sorry, the kayfabe. Even when it was there, like the biggest one of them, the Undertaker, he was always in character. You never see him out of character. So now we're gonna believe we're going from these storylines of these characters and everything like that to having a press conference interview with them at the end of
Yeah.
something,
You
going,
ain't
"Hey,
lying. You not lying. Oh my
hey,
god.
how do you feel about this moment in this match? Yes, you completed the moves that were great and they were real moves. But how do you feel about these moves that you did in this scripted episode that you were doing and give us your feedback on them? Like to me, I'm like, get rid of the press conference. You can have the after results, after analysts and everything like that. That's fine, but
No,
don't do the press conference because at this point you're taking
that
away
is
for
true.
something
They're taking away
that I
from
was
right there. And
loving.
then two, if I see another
hmm
PLE that only has 4 matches on it, that's not wrestling to me. Like, y'all have too many people in that company, and y'all only have 4 matches on every PLE. I don't know when I was little, or like I said, well, post Triple H, Vince McMahon would have like 9 or 10 matches on there, you know, and you didn't care that it went 3 or 4 hours. But now we're watching 3 or 4 hours of literally 4 matches, not even 4 matches, really, 4 matches, and then we're saying a 2 hour press conference, an hour after thing like podcast where they sit there and they talk, and then 2 hours before that,
Then the pre-show.
Like, y'all give us a whole smooth 9 hours of 4 matches and people just talking. Like, if that's the case, they could pay us to sit there and do that
with the same 4 people.
Yeah, like,
Give us Michael Cole at that point. If I want to hear somebody talk, give me Michael Cole out there. At least he might give me a little bit more aesthetic, or Pat McAfee, but they got to do the show too. But yeah, no, with it, when it comes to that, first off, too, get rid of the pre-show. Like, I don't think I really care to see a pre-show. You're already giving me a recap before all this stuff starts, anyways. Of, hey, this is what happens in this match. This is the weeks
so
that's been leading up. So why do I need a
Ahmad, I'm gonna
pre-show
say
of
this
the stadium to be like, hey, this
because
is
you're
where we
younger
are?
than us, right? When we used to watch the pre-show had matches. Like, if anybody else remember that, we
Yeah,
used to have like in your house.
Yeah, like
yeah.
heat, like you look at like Heat and Velocity.
Before the actual show started on the
Correct.
pre-show.
Like,
Yeah, and for that, if we're bringing something like that back, I would be more than happy with that. Then yes, give me that as a pre-show. But we're having a pre-show when you're sitting here giving me the analytics about something that happened 3 weeks ago that I can easily see on the website that I can go through and just read through, or see the reel that you posted 3 times back to back already to show me, hey, by the way, in case you missed it, Seth Rollins stomped CM Punk in the Elimination Chamber, and that's how Cena won it. If I gotta watch that 3 times in a pre-show before I get to the actual match, the pre-show doesn't matter to me because I already know what's
all
happening at
right,
that
so
point.
I'm just gonna wrap it.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the reason why, because they have, before you get to that, but the generation now that watch wrestling attention span is very short, you guys. It's not
That
us. It's not the same on
Yeah.
cable where you had to wait for a program to only come on once, and if you didn't watch it that one time, you missed it.
Right.
Now you can literally
that's
rewatch
true.
these shows
True.
Yeah.
over and over and over
That's true.
again, and people
Yeah.
like us are breaking them down, divulging them, digging into them, and they are literally selling. They're selling storylines. That's what they are, because that's how they get the money they need to be able to keep producing this conglomerate. Vince McMahon did not know. I don't think he foresee exactly what type of company he would have. He knew it would be big, but this is basically a whole department of sports. Like, WWE is the wrestling entertainment of the sports industry. I get what the after shows, the little interviews, yeah, they can be too much because they be coming out drunk and lit. I don't know what be going on. They be going through a lot in the after shows.
Listen, I'm here for the
But
libations, but when we're just sitting there boring and just going, yes, I'll thank you
yeah,
for
it
answering
needs
that
to
question
be.
at the time. Like, come on now.
It should be like limited, maybe to big events or bigger PLEs, like not
Yeah.
like almost after every event. And the other thing about the events, y'all remember how we used to whine about it only being like 3 events a year? Oh,
Yeah,
it's only
they only had
WrestleMania.
the big
Oh,
4.
it's only,
Yeah.
yeah,
They
like
only had the big 4.
now y'all get one once a month, and now it's like it's too much.
No,
I don't know
it
why
ain't
they
the
keep.
problem with
It's
the.
because this is what people
It ain't the
ask
problem with the
for,
once a month. It's
and
the once a month. It's once a month, but it's not nothing. Like, they can't tell a story in these 2. It's like they can't tell a story in 2 weeks, and they expect us to go out there and shovel out cash. Like, has anybody seen the SummerSlam tickets? Like, they're ridiculously priced.
No, I have not looked
well,
at them. I don't think I want to
they
look
were
at them.
on sale, and then you missed the sale. They're actually not that bad. They're actually cheaper than WrestleMania because you can get a ticket for 2 nights for
Okay.
$600. That's
We were
not bad
supposed to
for a
go.
No,
2-night
It
the
didn't
event.
work out.
problem
A
the
2-night
problem
event
I'm
on the
having with
floor.
it, all of this, is that I'm starting to learn too, is if you look at another company too, let's look at AEW for a second. AEW used to have a bunch of shows. They used to do a lot of stuff, and it was just all we used to complain about is like, hey, you guys are all over the place. You guys are
All
a
over the
mess. Like
place.
you're having too many shows. Isn't that what WWE is doing now? Like they're coming out with even more stuff. We're bringing back Saturday night main events. We're doing Evolution. We're doing all
Okay.
these other shows. They're doing
So
so
my
much, and
only
now they're basically doing
my only problem with
AEW is what I call it.
AEW was AEW has too many damn belts on that show. That's the problem with them. Like, everybody has a belt on AEW. It could be the guy who's the janitor. He has the belt. the top guy has a belt.
You
Like,
got the AEW
Not the
title. You
janitor.
got the ROH title. You got a lot going on.
right.
He had
The
a
janitor got
24/7
the belt.
champion. Janitor 24/7
Yeah, like,
champion.
you know,
But
like, that was just my only beef. But to just wrap this whole WWE up, so who do you guys have winning the main event?
all
Then?
right, let's
You know,
go.
I'm going with
Between Gunther and
yeah.
Goldberg. Yeah. Y'all
I think
gonna
if
be
you
mad
say
if
Goldberg,
Goldberg
if you
win.
say Goldberg is crazy, if you say Goldberg, you're crazy, absolutely
Okay.
100%. I am going Gunther on this one. The ring general will win his title. He will either tap Goldberg out. He's not power bombing his old ass, but he's definitely going to tap him out, and we're going to be done with this finally and get back to our
No,
normally scheduled programming. So I'm going Gunther.
Goldberg. Telling you,
I'm going Gunther.
Stan. Who do you say you went,
I
Stan?
don't know, guys. I think Gunther's gonna win, but I'm going Goldberg.
I'm going Gunther.
This is
Goldberg
not
will
about to
lock
be
himself up.
another Brock Lesnar moment where he squashes him in 6 seconds. This is not going to happen again.
All right, so Will.
Stop lacking on Goldberg.
Will, who you got, Gunther or Goldberg here? You know.
Him and Gunther really built the same. If y'all really look at them,
All right.
they literally built the same. They both built like
Goldberg will lock himself
65-year-old
out in the
men.
locker room.
Just one's in like their 30s, and the other one actually is a 65-year-old man, which is
Yeah, and they
crazy.
built the same way.
So now we're going to Jade versus Naomi. You know, so the two mixed.
The referee.
match makes
I
me
take
These
the
two
upset.
ref.
matches right here are
I take
This
the
match
ref.
these
make
two
me
matches
mad.
are the matches I feel as those the importance on the card. So like for Evolution, I feel like Jade versus Naomi. I'm gonna go with Naomi because to be honest with you,
This match is not important. Why would you
This
say
is not-
that? That don't make no
to
sense.
me this is an important match because this is two black females headlining a show. So this is important to me.
How
Oh
many
my
times
God,
have
here
they
we
wrestled?
go.
in the
Here we
last
They
go with
fought
this
at
shit.
WrestleMania, and the match was
That's what I'm
boring
saying.
and
How many
horrible.
times have they wrestled in the
Like,
last 6 months?
Give me
And Jade
the
not-
referee.
destroying her.
I'll take the referee.
It's-
This is ridiculous. I'm not
it's
answering
a
this one.
disappointing storyline. Like, it's a disappointing storyline because they keep building them up to something great, and they keep falling short.
But Jade
God,
can't
it's so-
wrestle.
Got it?
She can't
No,
wrestle.
she can't. I mean,
She
can't
can't.
wrestle. Nobody wants to talk about that.
She
She's not
can't.
Bianca Belair.
Because have you looked at
she's
her?
powered. She's powered. That's it.
I mean,
About it. Have you looked?
she's the botch queen in my opinion. You know, like
Yeah, she's the
botch queen.
But Naomi, this heel Naomi is such a
I like
great
heel
character
Naomi.
development. Yes, she's doing so good. I don't see
I will give
her.
a shout out to Heel Naomi. I'll give a clap to
Yeah,
that. 100%.
she's doing so good.
She
I see
deserves
her
that one.
taking the title from Jade once Jade wins that title. I don't
Okay,
really see
cancel
how
on
this
Tiffany.
match. Yeah, I don't. Tiffany, if she was Trish Stratus, throw the whole wrestling away. Just throw the whole
Yeah.
event away.
But
I'm
Jade
just letting y'all
she
know
gonna
right
win the
now.
title at SummerSlam. Watch.
Yeah, I think Jade's gonna win at SummerSlam, and I
Win at
think
SummerSlam.
Naomi's gonna cash in on
Yeah.
her. I think that's what's gonna happen.
Because
So I don't know about this match. Whoever said the referee, I'm gonna say the referee because
Yep.
I can care
I'm
less.
taking a ref. I'm taking a ref
But
on that one. It's gonna be.
that match about to be
I
boring.
hope for a double count out on both ways. Double count it out so we don't have to watch it.
Maybe
What's the
Bianca
next
will
one?
come out and be like, "Hey, stop, guys."
Bianca wants nothing to do with both of them, so Bianca's not going to be there. No, make Bianca a special guest referee if you want to be interested. Throw her in the middle of it again so she can hash out her differences with both sides.
She
That's
need to.
ridiculous.
Waste of storyline.
Had such a moment right there and just
They
ruined it.
had a moment and they wasted it. Like that's the worst thing about it. Like
so
that's crazy.
One of the last
What is this?
topic.
Okay.
So the WNBA. So I don't know too much about the WNBA. I'm trying to learn about the WNBA here, right? But I'm going to say though, I'm very proud that in 2029, Detroit's getting their WNBA team back. So I got to clap it up for that. That we're going to have WNBA action here.
Clap it up for
And then
that.
they're going to Cleveland and then Philly.
I mean, yeah, I guess if you want to clap it up for that,
but-
go for it. We already
Right.
had a team. We shouldn't have stolen it in the first place, but whatever.
So yeah, you had the Indiana Fever win the Commissioner's Cup. So the Commissioner's Cup is a version of like the NBA Cup. You know, they call it the Commissioner's Cup. So the Indiana Fever won that, right? So
I'm not gonna lie to you, I didn't watch a single moment of this game, and not because to hate on the WNBA. I think those girls are great.
No.
But it just wasn't advertised
Correct.
well
And
enough
that's the
for me to
problem
watch
with
that. I'm
WNBA.
gonna be
I
honest
watched
with you.
a couple games where them girls could ball, but nobody knows that they're balling.
Yeah,
But this is the thing I'm gonna say. This person on the screen right here, I hate her with a passion. You know what I mean?
Caitlyn Clark, she
What
can.
you what you got against
Caitlyn
the white
Clark can
girl?
play. She
Hold
can
up.
play.
She can
Yeah,
play. She can hoop.
She can
she can
shoot.
I
play.
feel like
I don't know enough about it, but I know
I
she can
feel
play.
like people put that battery in her back, but there's nothing to me that's special about her. You know, as in how they make it seem like she's the LeBron James of the WNBA.
But the girl can shoot like Steph Curry. Everybody
She's
want to
got a
compare her.
jumper out this world.
They want to compare her to Angel Reese, and I love Angel Reese, but what the Angel Reese, she can't shoot.
That's
Shout out
That's
to
the problem.
Baltimore.
She can't
That's a
shoot.
rebound merchant. That's a rebound merchant. No. Don't shout out to Baltimore now. That's a rebound merchant when we talk about AJ Reese. She is a rebound merchant. I've
Shout
seen
out to
how do you
Baltimore.
put up 20 shots,
Hey,
make 6 of them, and then get 20
Way down the
rebounds off
hill.
your own 20 shots. Like,
Well,
it's
they
ridiculous
call
to
them
me.
knee bounds. They call knee
Yeah.
bounds. She gets knee bounds.
10 in a row? Like, come on now. I watched
She
one of her
can't
games. I turned
shoot.
it off halfway through.
Yeah, I
through.
just
But yet we compare her to someone who can shoot, and we're saying, "Hey, these
Can't.
are two of the best ones here." And I'm like,
No.
"No, like we're not doing this." Caitlin's way better than Angel. No, nothing against Angel Reese. I think she's a great girl.
She
Work on your
is.
shooting game. Get a midi in there real quick, and then come
she's a
talk to
great
me.
girl.
Get a midi in there, so you got to stay at the paint, so you won't have 30 and 30 where you're getting 30 rebounds after 30
Like,
points after 30 missed
you gotta
shots.
work on
Like,
her shooting game because she can't shoot. You can't compare them because one can't shoot.
well, you know, I'm gonna check out an Angel Reese game to, you know, really pay her some attention.
don't
You
do
know.
it to yourself. Don't do that.
That's called
Don't hurt
defense.
yourself.
Now, yeah,
That's what
now
they
you
call
might want to watch
defense.
it because I thought she was, the next thing, the best thing smoking. But now y'all saying she
I
can't
mean,
shoot.
a lot of people say that about her, you know. And
That's-
like I said,
But here's the thing.
Watch the game and you'll be like, you watch her play. You'd be like, damn, she can't
Yeah,
shoot.
she
She can't
cannot.
even make a layup.
She gets right in the paint. She sits there. She double pumps you 3 times, so she makes you jump. Jumps into you, misses the layup, and all of a sudden she's going to the line, grabbing the board again, and going for it as well. I'd rather watch a summer league game than watch an Angel
Okay.
Reese game at this
all
point,
right.
and that's
So all
pretty
right.
sad.
So then also, you know, NBA is now in the trade-in and free agency season. So Kevin Durant, he basically is in Houston now. You have Michael Porter Jr., who's gone to the Brooklyn Nets. You got Duncan Robinson, which is a great pickup for the Detroit Pistons. You know, my Detroit Pistons.
Hell no. You are smoking crack if you think that is a good pickup, and I'm gonna tell you why that is not a good pickup. $48 million for 6 years for a bench player. You are higher than a kite right now if you
Shout
think
out.
that's a good pick.
Hold
He
up.
is
Wait,
a
wait,
bench
wait.
player from through to through. Yes, he can shoot. But he's off the bench. No, please stop. Get some help. Stop it. Get some help if you think that's
Shout
a
out.
great pick. You need
Shout
help.
out
You
to my
need Jesus
Mr.
on that one.
Hat
Shout
for
out
me.
to my Detroit Pistons, you know what I mean, for Duncan Robinson. You
The
know,
hat for
Like,
me.
what the fuck? Like, I love the Pistons. I've always grew up watching them. Been a hometown hero since the day I was born. So I go for the Pistons, Lions, all of them. Even when they are terrible, and we have been terrible, I always love them. But when you spend $48 million on a 6-year contract for a guy who wasn't shooting that much on the team that he was with now, for him to be a shooter on your team, yes, he can shoot. But $48 million, that's like basically what they gave Javier Baez as a $156 million contract. You're overpaying for someone that's going to underdeliver. We're going to be really mad when he underdelivers, and then we're going to trade him somewhere else. And then
hey,
now we just dropped $48 million on him.
I
And we
don't
could have just
care
got
as
somebody in
long
the
as we get
draft.
back to the
I'm just
playoffs.
saying.
That's all I care about. But I'm gonna go to
I know is the king went out of LA. LeBron went out of LA. That's
and
all
then
I
I'm
know.
gonna say, and then I
Oh,
have on the
now
screen
he wants
the
out of LA.
dumbass deal of
Where
He
is
wanted to
he needs
get.
to retire.
He
Where's he going to go?
wanted to get there so bad. Now he
Right.
went out.
King
and
went
then also
out.
Where he
Go
gonna
where?
go?
Please tell me.
And where he gonna go to
And-
lose next?
and-
I just want to know.
The king going to even Golden State
and
Dallas.
then I'm
That's
gonna
where
say
he's
this. This is the dumbass deal of it all for me right here on the screen. The Bucks are basically paying Damian Lillard $117 million over 5 years to sit his ass home. You know what I mean?
going. Ain't
Well,
nothing
hold
wrong
up
with that.
though. And this is the
Ain't nothing wrong with that. I take it.
I was
I mean,
reading
if
he
you
gets picked
Dame,
up by
you
somebody,
getting that bread.
but I was reading if he gets picked up by somebody else, they still have to pay him this 117. So he's making $22 million.
They still have to pay out
That's
his
what they
contract.
call him.
So
Dame
he's
Dollar.
making $22 million a year and not even working for these motherfuckers.
Mhm.
To sit on a bench.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in
Great
the
move.
wrong goddamn shit.
Great move.
Take their
Smart.
money.
And then we
Take their
got
money.
Cooper.
He got the
Take that money.
right. He got the
Take that money.
right agent.
I
He
will
got the
let
right
you know
agent.
too. when going back to these trades, that Kevin Durant trade to the Rockets, the Rockets are dumb. They should not have traded for KD. Yes, I know you want to win now. You want to make in the playoffs now, now, now. But you just gave this other team something great, something fantastic. You
First
gave
of
them
all, Durant not
youth.
even going to survive
Hell
82
no.
games. He's fragile. He's Mr. Glass. He
Hell
ain't gonna
no.
make it.
Like Houston doing that, it just shows me they want to win and they think Kevin Durant is going to be that last stretch they need to win. But the problem is, dickhead, you just traded away one of the guys that got you to the playoffs in the first place.
Yes,
You were
sir.
number two. You were number two in the league at a point in your division in that playoffs, and you had a chance to go all the way. So now you just traded Jalen Green, who is a very younger player, very younger
Mhm.
than Kevin Durant. You traded him away to go, okay, now we're going to use KD to bring him in so we can win the game, we can win and get farther in the playoffs. That's not going to happen. KD's going to go down in the first round with a torn tibia again. He's going to get up somehow, and Siakam's going to put dark magic on him, and he's not going to play the rest of the playoffs. And they're just going to be out of money
Yeah.
at this point because Houston
I
is not the
just
smartest.
Not
I'm
dark
just
yeah,
saying.
it's
magic.
just
Siakam's been using black magic
I
for
think it's
years.
just dumb, Durant, like you just said, Stan, Durant getting paid $53 million this year. I mean, a year to go to Houston.
Yes, and he's not gonna go 82 games.
And
He's
that's
not.
like Bradley
No.
Bill's getting paid $53
I think they
million.
need to cut down from 82 games anyways.
So that's crazy.
I think because you have this this NBA Cup too, you need to cut the season down some. Because also we've seen too many injuries, especially career-ending injuries in playoff situations when we should have the best basketball should be in playoffs, and we got to worry about too many players getting hurt. So I would say at first I was against it, but now cut the season down some so we can have some good games during the playoff stretch. Because I'm here for that.
It just, and I just think it just pisses
Too many
me off.
injuries.
Just millions of dollars they get paid, and I get paid little. Whatever.
I know. Let me go fly out. I could be the
Right.
third man.
Oh, Roman Reigns
What
only
they
work Roman Reigns only work 4 days a year, and he gets paid a lot of money.
All right.
I know. I need
Yeah,
to get paid that
I want-
much.
I think that tribal chief money, but
All right.
anyways.
But yep. So this last topic of the day, and I'm only going to spend about 3 minutes on this topic and just close it out because I really don't understand it myself per se, but I got it
You talking about the big back
correct.
bill?
Yeah. So the Senate has
Oh,
So-
we going on that
The
bullshit.
big,
Okay.
beautiful
correct
bill.
exactly, and like my
That man said no taxes on
correct. So
overtime.
now we're having no taxes on overtime, no taxes on tips. How is this going to backfire on us? As I read parts of the
No health
it's
care, no Medicaid,
The
no
law-
Medicare,
it's
no
already gonna
retirement,
backfire.
no Social Security,
Tax
You got to think
cut
about it this way too.
no
Like
child
for
tax
rich
credit.
people, and it's
you're
permanent.
doing all these tax
Hold
cuts
up.
and all this stuff too against people and going, hey, we're gonna screw the little man to help the big man. But at the same time, once this 4 years is over, and we'll be glad it's done because I'm sick of it. Whoever becomes president, yes, I know the first thing they're gonna do is go right to that bill and try to see
And
what they
remove
can
it.
cut out of
Yeah, they
it
about
immediately.
to flip that shit.
Because when you look at the bill and you read it,
It's a
it
horrible
doesn't make
bill.
any sense. It doesn't make any sense about it whatsoever. Nothing about it makes sense about it. It's not helping the little people, that's for sure. It's the only people that's helping is businesses at that point to get scraping by going, hey, oh, I only have to work you 40 hours and I'm going to let the state dictate how I do that. Okay, I don't have to give you your overtime. If I do give you your overtime, I don't have to tax it because you're not going to get it anyways. It doesn't make any sense. And I'm just thinking to myself, who let this guy get in the office in the next 4 years? And then I think about it and I go in my head, they're not like us, and I'm gonna leave it at that.
All right. Well,
I think
Yeah, it's a
that
very
our country
contradictory
is in
bill.
trouble. They said the Supreme Court ruled that he can do anything, and it's not an exaggeration. And they also ruled that the courts can't stop him. And with that, and the literal concentration camp that they're building in Florida, it's getting pretty
So
scary. Like, you know what I mean?
so hold up. So let's go.
yes,
Yeah,
we're
and
basically
he still
rolling
got a
into
year
a
and a half
So hold
to
up.
dictatorship.
go.
Somebody
It's
just
crazy.
said something.
He
So
still got a year and a half
I
to
didn't
go.
read that part, but so now there's no child tax credit anymore. So people with kids don't get that money.
So they're removing the child tax credit. So they're going to reduce it for the next year, and then eventually they're going to phase it out where you don't get
So
paid
people with
for
all
it.
these kids now.
So you know how it's
No matter how many
originally it
kids you
was
got.
2,000. It don't matter. They're reducing it. Now it's going to go next year. It's going to go to 1,000, I think. So right now, I think it's 2,200. It was the maximum they kept for COVID. They've been keeping the COVID maximum. Yeah, that shit going down come 2026, and then after that, it's going to phase out until it gets to the lowest possible
So
amount to
all
where it's
these
not
women with all
taxable.
these kids is not going to be getting all that money anymore.
Yep.
Okay, I can see
Nope.
OnlyFans numbers about to go up.
Not anymore.
It's about to be crazy. I'm about to see a new link every week. Hey, subscribe to my OnlyFans. I need to make sure my kid eats. But
Yeah.
that's not the problem there. First of all, I can't discriminate anyone doing that OnlyFans. Get your money somehow. You're gonna get it. Just don't send it my way because I will not watch or follow you on that one. But I will definitely say this on the fact of this just needs to be stopped. Like I don't know how else to say it without saying it, but when your own Supreme Court is saying, yeah, this man can do pretty much what he wants, what does that take away from you to being one step closer to a dictatorship? Like at this point, we should just be communist like China, because that's what we're rolling into. We're rolling into a hierarchy or hierarchy of just, hey, he's law, he's this, he's that.
Dictatorship.
He already has a cult of people that just follow whatever he says.
Yeah.
You run into your own dictatorship. You gotta Actually, it's not even a dictatorship. It's a cult at this
Hold
point.
up.
It's a crazy brainwashed cult because if you ever notice, they all just come out in flocks. If you say one bad thing about Trump, they're
Hold
there
up,
to
though.
be right on your
He's
head.
cutting $185 billion from for food stamps. That's a lot of money.
Yes, he's cutting food stamps. He's cutting Medicare. He's cutting the Medicaid program. He's raising the poverty line back down
Yeah,
so that where
he's
no one it
destroying.
can equal the poverty line. He changed the age range from 18. It used to be from 18 to 45. You could qualify for Medicaid. Now it's only 18 to 34, and you have to meet a certain criteria financially to even think about qualifying. It's no longer for children. He's cut the
He's
Social Security program. He's cut
all
retirements.
social safety nets
All of these
gone.
are cut to provide the tax cut for the big business. But basically, like Ahmad said, it's contradictory because if you cut this stuff from the people that's working for these big businesses and they aren't getting paid to do this work, these big businesses aren't getting these tax cuts because they have these people leaving, and now everybody's going to be upset. And that's basically what's going to happen. It's going to get put with both sides are upset, and he's not going to know what to do. Like, he's not going to know how to respond when shit really hits the fan. And he probably going to bounce. He probably going to be like, well, not my problem. See y'all later.
It's not going to be his problem because he's already going to be out the office at that point when it happens.
Yeah, he
That's why I
got a
said
year
the
and a
next person
half
that comes
left.
in, they're going to rewrite all this stuff and they're going to take it out of there. But it makes me look at it and go, and this is where this makes me laugh because people go, the first year with Trump, it was great. Yes, it was great, but he was also doing what President Obama was still running his program to do for the last few
Yeah.
years that he had left in office. That stuff was still trickling over. So now the next person that comes into office, whether it be male, female, whoever it is that steps into this office, they're gonna have to deal with all this stuff and everything back there. But the one problem that you're always gonna hear too is at least with Trump, it was better. It was not. He was getting off someone else's success, just like he did in his business. He didn't run his own business and stuff. He was off somebody else's success.
Well,
It just had his name on it. They see him as a heavy figure and they think, oh, he's the best thing since sliced bread, which I just think
but everybody's
he's just
only
an
saying
idiot.
that though
But
because
hey,
I don't
stimulus.
think
what can
it's
you
ever
do?
going to change that.
He's a WWE character created by Vince
Hold
McMahon.
on, hold on,
That's
hold
what
on.
he
Look at it like
Go
this.
ahead.
is. Ruling
Let
the
Will go ahead and get
country.
his point out. Go ahead, Will.
I think we're in grave danger. I don't think it's going to change hands. I think if you look at it like this, why would the Republicans go through the lengths that they've gone through every system of government to give the president absolute power to do literally whatever he wants to, just to turn it over to a Democrat?
Well, no, that's the thing.
See,
They're not gonna, yeah, they're not gonna turn to a Democrat at all. They're gonna make sure a Democrat doesn't touch that office one step or Sunday. But the thing is, as the way they're making it sound with him, they want it to be basically, hey, you rule to the day you die, and that's not how that works. Is in our Constitution, we made sure we say, hey, there was not be a dictatorship here in this country because if that's the case, then the people have the right to change stuff if they want to. But the problem is, it has to be a majority's decision and we all know as an American people, we can't agree on that much of anything. Like we can barely agree on R. Kelly being right or wrong sometimes. Because some people in this chat thinks that
Free
he's
R.
all
Kelly.
right. Just saying though.
I don't think they're going to let it
Throw him out
happen.
there.
I think even
Unless he gets rid of the 22nd Amendment, which he can have the power
Right.
to do. He's talked about doing it before, but he's basically said that after this, he's kind of done. Like, I think Trump is kind of over it. I don't think he foresee how much this particular role would take out of him. Like, it is a life investment. Like every president we've seen in our time frame has invested their life force into this particular role. And when you see it, what
Some
type
came
of
out looking like Diddy.
is that what it takes on even Obama, the toll it took on him. So but unless he fights to change that unless he fights to change that amendment, he can't. I mean, it's nothing you can do. That's why they put it there, because he can't go after this term. This is the end. Now he can do a lot in 18 months. 18 months is still a long time to fuck a
It
lot of
is.
shit
Yeah.
up.
But isn't it still
So,
So
bad though if we stuck with a Republican president for the next 50 years? Like, you know what I'm saying?
but the thing about America is so finicky. You know, we done been Democrat, Republican. Like it's been Democrat, Republican, Democrat. It's finicky. It all depends about who looks good enough on the card. Unfortunately, Kamala Harris didn't look good enough on the card. Same thing. Only reason why Joe Biden really won is because of Obama.
Yeah.
And nothing against Joe, but that's really the truth,
Yeah.
because
no,
that is
Yeah.
who
100%. That's the truth.
yeah, it's the
And the thing
truth.
with
So
Kamala, the problem with Kamala is she could have won. The problem
yeah,
is when you seen Joe was going through all this stuff, well,
He ain't
when
have
he was
enough
in
time.
office,
Correct.
and you
she
not
didn't
even
have
just
enough
enough
time.
time.
He just have
You
enough time.
see him going through all this stuff in the office where he's not even
Yeah,
in the
I
right
feel like
headspace to
these
make
people.
decisions. That's where she could have stepped in and been like, "Hey, I'm going to take over for him at
But
the
this is
time,"
the
because we
thing
know the
though.
president's not
But
in the
this is the
right
problem.
mind, and could have made it been a little better to
But
get
this is the
more votes
problem
for
with
her to
that
swing
though.
that way. Yes, but she didn't have
They
enough time.
knew. I think honestly, not now me bringing up race again. This to me, that was a white man's play, because they knew for a fact that he couldn't be president, right?
I think that's it. You gone,
Yeah,
Carlisle.
we lost Carl.
We
Oh
got.
man.
We gonna close it out. We gonna close it out for
Listen,
next week.
the
How we gonna lose the host?
Hey, close it
the
out till
host
next week.
is the one losing. It's crazy. They said keep that thought for next week. Just hold on to it. No,
We'll
we
Yeah, I
see
ain't
y'all
gonna
guess,
lose
next
or
right?
week.
anything like that. We'll catch y'all next week.
We'll catch everybody
Until then,
next week.
I guess we have to close the show out here. We lost our host here. We still have everybody here. We will see you guys next
See
week
y'all
on
next
this
week.
See you next
podcast.
week,
But
y'all.
see y'all next week.
All right.
Bye
Peace.
now.